What's up, Internet World? We're the News 19 Nerds.
Star Wars!
I knew he was going to do something. I didn't know what it was. I'm Michael.
I'm Lauren.
I'm Leroy.
Or you're Poe. And we got our special guest.
Jacob.
Jacob. Thank you, Jacob. You've been in on a few of our videos.
Right. It's only because Disney bought Star Wars that I'm here.
That's what I'm saying. You are a big Disney fan.
Resident Disney.
So anything Disney, you'll probably go see, more or less.
Right, exactly.
Okay. We're talking about episode 9, Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
Last episode.
Last episode, we're gonna do a separate non-spoiler review that you can see on the channel, but this is all spoilers to help Lauren out.
Yeah, because y'all know I can't hold water.
So everybody can just say whatever they want from whenever.
If you haven't seen the movie, go watch our other video.
Yeah, go watch non-spoiler.
This is the video for those of us who watch it who don't care about spoilers, because we can spoil everything.
Yeah.
Spoiled?
Let's go down the line. Just give. What do you think?
It's a fitting into this trilogy.
Okay.
I liked it. I really appreciated. This movie made me appreciate Last Jedi more.
Okay.
It really it did for certain things, but I like this one a whole lot more. And to me, it's a fitting into this trilogy. So that's where I stand.
I really enjoyed it, but I wish they would have played with it more. Rey could have been a Sith Lord.
Okay.
I was here for it. And I wanted to say something to you, but I was like, I don't want to ruin this movie experience for Leroy, because the whole time I was like, the dark side looks pretty good. You know? I mean, some of the cuts, like the squad.
So Palpatine would have got you.
Palpatine would have got me. He's
Like strike you down, and you would have done
In
it.
the movie, every time the Knights of Ren showed up, Laura said, "Squad."
Squad.
Every time.
Okay. Jacob.
I really liked it. They were playing the hits,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
So not that many swings, but you know what? I know what I like.
Okay, this is hot.
And just
Told you.
gives me what I want.
Okay.
So I liked it for that aspect of it.
As we go through this.
Whoa! You ain't said what you thought.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay, I was
Yeah,
about
when
to
does
say.
everybody talk? I'm
I was
saying,
like,
as we go through this, it's going to sound like I don't like the movie because I got a lot of nitpicks, but I did enjoy it. But it's going to sound like I got a lot of nitpicks because I got a lot of nitpicks.
I have some things that I had issues with it, but overall, I thought it was a good movie, and I thought it was a good balance to these three.
And I will say the hate that it has online is unwarranted.
But this is the thing, and me and Lauren were talking about this after the movie. And I know people are going to watch this for our reviews, and we're critiquing the movie. F the critics, man.
Yeah. If you liked it, you liked it.
If people didn't like the first Star Wars. If you go back and look at critics, there are people who hated Home Alone. Cisco and Ebert gave a thumbs down to Home Alone.
People didn't like the thong song when it first came out, but
You're right. It's the same level. It's the same level.
the
Home Alone and
same
Thong Song, the
level.
same level.
Sorry, Mom.
Okay.
I didn't even see that.
So, what stood out to you guys is as you're watching this, you're like, it's the end of an era, more than 40 years of storytelling, 9 films.
You know, I didn't even realize it, but when I left, I left and just started laughing. And the guy next to me looked at me on our way out, like, are you all right? Because I went by myself, and I realized I'd been holding my breath the whole last 40 minutes.
Okay.
And I think on my way out, that laughter was just, that's really, I mean, it's Disney, so it'll be back in 6 years. But for the moment, I was like, that's really it. So it was kind of final, I felt like.
And that's what I was telling Jacob when I sent him a text message right after the movie. Like, it kind of felt like how I felt at the end of Harry Potter, but I wasn't as emotional because Harry Potter, I was like, oh my god.
But you read the books too.
Yeah, but yeah. So if there were books for this,
I mean,
and by the books I mean I read up to 3. I still got some more books.
I can give you some books.
yeah, there are some books.
I can give you some books on Star Wars.
For real?
They don't.
Oh, yeah.
They're not canon, but
Yeah. Well,
There are
you
some-
say that,
there are some books that are canon.
and to get real nerdy, they say a lot of the old legacy stuff isn't canon,
See,
right?
I wasn't trying to do that.
But no, well, I'm just saying.
Hold on, let's do
a
it.
lot of stuff. Excuse me. A lot of the stuff they showed in here was stuff that happened and stuff that wasn't canon
Yeah.
anymore. So it's kind of like force healing and all that kind of stuff. Like
A lot of the
we've
stuff-
seen that before. We just hadn't seen it.
The
in
funniest
movies.
thing is the reason why they got rid of the expanded universe was so that they can kind of do what they wanted to, cherry pick here and there, and then put stuff in, and that way they're not beholden to a specific timeline.
Because I thought the force healing was kind of too Yobi.
Now this is the funny thing.
Spoiler alert ×2.
No.
In The Mandalorian episode 7, I said, hey, force healing is going to be a big deal. It's interesting that this came out before this movie. I'm a genius. Thank you.
Well, they said there was a reason why they put this out beforehand.
Just saying.
I mean,
I'm just saying, I got the receipts that said I said it before the movie came out, so I feel like I'm smart.
I understand that.
That's all I'm
However, comma, we did say JJ Abrams did say there was a new force power, and he said it's going to come out, and if you wanted to know, it was already out. So I'm not going to say you're not a genius, but you could have easily deciphered this based on the clues.
Okay.
Two things that really got my wow moments, like where I had an audio reaction in the movie. One, when she's like, "Be with me," and you hear all the voices.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Dang.
Bring everybody
Dang.
back. Yeah.
Family review.
Yeah.
And then the other one was the lightsaber and then Tatooine. I was like, all right, you did good.
Did you hear your girl Ahsoka?
Huh?
Ahsoka's voice? Did that? I'm just curious to you because I know you like Ahsoka.
It did.
Did that make you tear up a little bit?
It did, but the part that got me the most, or the two things that got me the most, was that had to deal with Lando, because it hit the movie, like Jacob said, it hit all the beats. They weren't going to do any wild after The Last Jedi. They were like, look, we're going straight down the line. I knew that was Lando, but even knowing it was Lando, I still was like, that's Lando. Like I got excited, and then at the end, when the young lady, and I cannot remember her name, when Lando said, "Where are you from?"
Yeah.
And he said, and she says, "I don't know." And he said, "Well, let's find out."
And like,
To me,
Are we getting a spinoff?
Yep.
I will say this: I don't care,
Spin.
because to me, that moment right there is what Star Wars is. That moment where these people it's a found family. These people don't know each other. They are united by a common cause, and they will do anything for their family. And to me, that moment right there, like, I ain't gonna lie, and I'm gonna admit this, and my wife is gonna be mad. Like, you cried in Star Wars, but you ain't cried at our wedding. I teared up, man.
You said that.
Yeah.
But nobody else brought that up.
Nobody.
You didn't have to say that at all. Okay.
I had a panic attack at my wedding when she was walking down the aisle. Her dad was walking her down. I was like, oh my gosh. My dad was like, just breathe, son, just breathe. This is gonna be okay. But I'm not gonna lie, I teared, like, because to me, that distilled exactly what Star Wars was. When Lando, this new character, this new girl, who was like, I just know a feeling said, I'm not going to do these evil things. And she meets Lando, doesn't know who he is, he don't know who she is, and she's like, I don't know. And he said, let's find out. That was, to me, Star Wars.
Speaking of, did y'all see that gay kiss in there?
Yep.
Yeah.
I thought that was actually pretty cool. I was like, that's what's up.
I was like, okay, gay kiss.
Girl was like, I love you. I love you too, whatever your name is.
8 movies are in a gay alien in this galaxy.
You got a point.
I mean, they got space gophers,
Yeah.
space horses with tusk.
Yeah, that was pretty lit.
I was
That's
like,
wild. I
yo,
like it. What do we think of, like, some characters getting sidelined? And I'm specifically talking of, like, Rose.
Yeah. The other one I didn't like either was I felt like Chewie was kind of like, all right, you're around.
I felt Chewie didn't get a lot of service for this movie. We understand Carrie Fisher couldn't, based on
I
her
think they
passing.
had a lot of her.
It was a lot of her on there.
They had a lot of her from what she filmed in The Last Jedi.
Right.
So it's almost like The Matrix in a sense where characters literally passed away when they were making this movie and they weren't able to use them, so they had to make do with what they had.
I thought they did a really good job with that.
I thought they did too. My problem with the movie was a little bit of the unrequited love triangle between, and that's my only big beef.
Are you talking about between Ben and
Between who? Between everybody?
Yeah, man. Like
everybody loves everybody in this movie.
But my thing, okay, so like the relationship between Kylo Ren and Rey.
Yeah.
Kylo Ren, now Ben, and Rey, and Finn.
Finn was odd man out.
Finn and Rey's love is more of
He's friend zoned as hell.
He's friend zoned, but I don't think he's friend zoned. I think they love each other, but it's on a level that's like as if I'm meeting somebody for the first time. We go on a Tinder date and we end up falling in love that way.
What was
Rey?
What was Finn gonna say to Rey?
That he loves her.
He loves her.
Is
That's
that
it.
what he
Yeah,
was gonna
that was
say?
it.
I was annoyed about that and that, like, we can't get 2 minutes on how this man lived. Palpatine.
Oh,
Spoiler.
yeah, no,
But I'm just saying, like, Ben and Rey's relationship, literally, they were in sync. They literally had moments where they were connected spiritually,
especially
physically,
when they put on the lightsabers, it looked like a Beyonce concert.
Yeah,
it's like
I know you,
formation.
I know your inner thoughts. You know my inner thoughts. So that to me is a completely different relationship than her relationship with Finn.
I understand that. The problem that I had with it is that we had been toying with Finn these last 3 movies, where will they will or will they won't kind of thing. And I felt like in this movie, I thought Finn was really going to get it. And it feels like...
He was, from the black girl.
Yeah, true, but this is the thing.
She was looking at him like,
Didn't he kiss Rose in the last one?
He did. And see, this is my problem
Rose
with that.
kissed him.
Like, everybody was throwing
Yep.
themselves at Finn, and Finn is like, I'm going to be faithful. And I'm like, Finn did not get his due because that was the girl to me.
But he was still very connected to Rey, though.
That's my point. And that's why I said, it makes me appreciate The Last Jedi more, but also The Last Jedi bothers me because they did this schism between Rey and Finn and then made this relationship between Ben and Rey.
Well, Ben disappeared, so we good.
So, but...
The other thing I have to say, and I won't be that guy.
Go ahead.
We could have just had
Now,
and Finn.
now there's an
Come on
interview.
now.
Now watch this. There's an interview between Oscar Isaac and John Boyega where they said they pitched that. They actually were like, they were cool with it after the first movie because they saw the love that people were giving. They were like, well, let's make it happen. And they said Disney was like, that's nice. All right, now what we're going to do over here is they did
I
not
believe
listen.
that.
And
Yeah.
so there's an interview with the whole cast where they talked about that, where they said, let's make it happen. And no one would listen to them. And this is the thing I will say. Maybe this is the groundwork for something down the line of maybe something we can see. Because I feel like Disney is kind of easing up and saying, we're going to listen to the fans, but we're going to course correct a little bit and do our own thing.
Right.
And so that last scene when you talked about the gay kiss at the end.
That was all y'all was going to get.
But
Disney got to do baby steps.
Oh,
Disney does baby steps.
That's what exactly. They have to get to that point.
Yeah.
And I understand that. I may disagree. Some people are like, nah, if you can believe in space magic, you can believe in two people who of the same sex who love each other. And I agree with that. But you got a multi-billion-dollar corporation who ain't there yet.
Right.
So
Agreed.
I can see that. I definitely understand that.
I'm trying to use this computer to find stuff y'all see on
You know good and well that computer don't work.
It's super old. You need to go ahead and just pull it up on your phone, dog.
Perfect example. How bad this computer is. Me and Lauren did the Tenet review, right? And I thought that was Robert Pattinson in the poster because the resolution was so bad.
Yeah, that wasn't even him.
It wasn't even him.
Oh, wow.
Because I went home, I was like, oh.
So somebody said in the
we
comments.
just said it was him
And
in
I
the
was
review.
like, and then somebody was like, that's not Robert Pattinson.
We can't see.
And I was like, well, how about this? I need you to talk to our
Yeah.
bosses and get us a new computer and a new monitor because we swore we thought that was Robert Pattinson.
Jacob, you brought up that you thought Chewie got shortchanged a little bit. Like you thought you wanted more from Chewbacca.
I didn't actually want any more. I'll be honest. Once again, spoiler, and I have no apologies about this. He should have died.
Yeah, and remained
Ooh, did you think he died in that moment?
Well, my
Yeah.
thing is like, it was what Game of Thrones got wrong in its last season. This epic end of the story, no stakes at all.
Yeah.
You had the opportunity to, Leia, you could say, but I guess that one was less emotional because we all know as a person she's already dead. But they didn't kill Chewie when it was where the second ship comes from.
Right,
It didn't
that
make
was
any
weird.
sense. And then also, I think I love him, but C-3PO should have been
Memory
wiped.
wipe completely.
I'll be
that
honest
was
with
it.
you, I was cool with losing C-3PO because of that moment where he's like, here's all my friends. So I
Yeah.
appreciated that him relearning everything, looking at everything. Because at one point when he was like,
Y'all crazy.
He was like, is this every day with
Yeah.
you people?
Yeah.
This movie made me love C-3PO.
But I will say, and I was talking to Lauren about this, C-3PO finally got his movie.
He did.
Because BB-8 got a movie before he did, and he finally got...
C-3PO.
Son,
Yeah.
when he said, what is this over? The agony. I fell out. I was...
This movie was funnier.
When is
It was very funny.
But,
Yeah.
but Star
Yeah.
Wars is funny. Like, I don't understand where these sad sacks come from who are like, this is not my
Force
Star
They
Wars.
saw
Force
Rise,
Awakens
they
was
saw-
not very funny.
To me, it
Last
had-
Jedi wasn't funny.
Last Jedi was not funny.
Yeah.
But if you
That
go-
one I did cry.
If you go back and watch Empire when Han is in Carbonite, he's like, and she's like, I love you. He's like, I know. Like that. Or when you watch Return of the Jedi, and Leia has the blaster after she gets shot in the arm, and Han, and they're like, hands up. Han immediately hands up. He pumped out, and Leia's like, you know, I got that one.
Yeah.
and Han's like, I love you, and she's like, I know. Like there are funny moments in these movies,
Yeah.
so I don't know why it has to be this dour, you know.
I think it's
I
because those
appreciate
are somewhat understated.
Mm-hmm.
These, I feel like this is more like a comedy sketch show in terms of beat for beat. Like you're hearing lines. Like it was more pronounced in this movie than you would get in other movies. Which is cool.
My favorite relationship in this movie has to be Poe and Finn. Like their friendship.
Oh yeah, they were.
Like, he was like
really good.
He was like General. General.
Yeah.
Like, it was like.
Thank you.
Also, a moment of respect for our biggest hustler in Star Wars. Just out for himself, General Hux. I mean, that man was working from Force Awakens for him from day one.
Lord, this is the moment, Lord. As soon as he found out we was a spy, Lord said, I knew it. Haters.
Yeah, he was like, I don't care if you win. I just want Kylo
to lose.
Lord
That
said,
man was out to get his
haters, man.
Lord said, she said it with the. She said, haters.
And then that other guy just shoots him in the stomach.
Yo.
Yeah.
I guess that's the end of his
General
movie.
Pride.
Yeah.
General Pride is. Hey, that's. Those are the kind of friends you need.
Yeah.
The only criticism I have, the biggest criticism I have, is that I felt General Pride, where he's like, you know, I served you in the First War, I'll serve you now. Like, can we get some backstory?
Yeah.
See,
How
I
is
wish
Palpatine alive? Where did all these orchestra of Siths come from?
when he
How do
said
you
that,
keep that secret?
That's what I'm saying. I wanted,
there are a lot of plot holes in this movie.
I wanted more development of our bad
I did.
guys.
I'm thinking, you know, throughout the movie, I'm like, is this just? Am I supposed to know this? Because I am very surface level Star Wars.
We was all
and
like,
Everybody's asking like, who is this dude?
okay, so all right,
You ain't
I'm
been in
not
no
alone.
movie. Because I went and looked him up. I was like, oh,
Now-
this is your first Star Wars
now
movie. I
this is
thought
the
maybe
thing.
he was in an old one. He wasn't.
Now this is the thing. A lot of people were saying, now if Rebels hadn't come out, now if you guys watch Rebels, you already know this. There's a guy in the books from Timothy Zahn who he created a
Timothy
character.
Zahn's got some good books.
He created a character called Grand Marshal or Grand
You talking about Thrawn?
Thrawn.
Yeah.
And he's in Rebels.
Okay.
So a lot of people were thinking, and it's like, you can't have Thrawn because he's already canon in Rebels. He's a blue-skinned alien. He's one of the only Grand Admiral generals in the Empire, because if a lot of people I don't know if you guys realize this, the Empire is very xenophobic. If you notice, the Empire does not, they'll use aliens, but there's no aliens in
charge.
In their higher command. He's the only one. He was in the Outer Rims, past the Outer Rims, and then came back after the Empire was like, wait, what the?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm killing everybody. So to a lot of people were like, Pride could be thrown in the movies, and it's like, no, but give us more, because he was an awesome character. When he shot Hux, I was like, that's gangster.
Well, and my thing was just, I mean, I'm willing to. It's a movie about space wizards. I'm willing to extend a lot of like, okay.
Yeah.
But like, he fell down a well basically, and then the thing blew up. Like, please give me 2 minutes on how we got from point A to creepy robot guy.
You mean you didn't like the line where they said dark magic and science?
That was
That
it.
was your line.
it.
Wasn't great, but that was
Also-
your line.
Disney, and this I'm talking directly to you. How many billions you got, and we couldn't come up with a better name than Sith Wayfinder? Like, call it the Stones of something as hell. I don't know. It's terrible.
Sith Wayfinder.
I will say this.
I mean, yeah, that was a basic name, but
It looked amazing. And this is the problem that I have with this. If you can invest that much money in, like, the beginning of the movie was amazing.
yeah, I was like, oh.
Like,
And that's why I was like, okay,
the
Dark Side.
beginning of the movie was amazing.
Squawk.
Can we put a little bit more of that into the writing? Because I was with you where, again, if you're one of those people who are like, excuse me, but if you read the comics, there are some of that. Palpatine is that dude who will like set up plans behind plans behind plans.
Yeah.
Give us some of that in the movie, because you put all this money into making it look great. Well, make it flow a little bit. And I can understand some of the critics being like, well, here's a plot hole, here's a plot hole. But I'm not going to damn the whole movie for that.
Yeah. No.
Because I enjoyed it. I really did.
The movie was great.
Well, and if you've watched all 9, like obviously, you can see, like, you can make the leaps of like, okay, Palpatine was running this thing from the beginning, so how we got here makes sense.
I mean,
But I
you've seen
still would have liked
Yeah.
a little bit more.
But you've seen that's the thing. Like in the other movies, you've seen instruments and things keeping people alive, or
Right.
I don't know about bringing people back, but
Hell, just do
Dark Plagueis the
Yeah,
Wise. He always
yeah.
talks about Dark Plagueis the
or
Wise.
do
just to
this.
bring
Like
people
when he
back.
fell down, you did flashbacks. When he fell down and he's sitting his little, he's sitting down there. Just show like you did in the Matrix when Neo died. Little cables, and then dragging his body off into the darkness.
We'll never
You
know.
did it in the last Matrix. If the Wachowski brothers could do this in early 2000s, Come on, like how did you not? And that's my biggest problem with this movie. These little things that they just are ambiguous, and they're like space magic.
Yeah.
And they just let it go, and it's like,
we need a little bit more.
Also, this is the hot take I wanted to tell you earlier, and I told Lauren, and she didn't react the same way I did. Hottest of hot takes I'm gonna give right now. I think we have to replace like all those lists of like greatest movie villains of all time: Darth Vader, Darth Vader, Darth Vader, Darth Vader, whatever. I think we gotta replace him with their boy Palpatine.
I reacted.
I mean,
Palpatine is that dude.
Yeah,
I feel like
he
Darth
is.
Vader is just a blunt instrument, and he just
the
attacks.
fist.
Yeah, and Palpatine is the more cerebral. He has the power too, but he's also, I think he's more
That
cerebral than
lightning
Vader.
thing was cool.
The problem with Vader, I've always felt like, is we haven't developed or devolved into how he dealt with that PTSD of, oh, I'm the bad guy, and then committing to being the bad guy. Like we haven't. That's the biggest problem I had with the prequels that you saw. If for those people, because some of the Clone Wars really fleshes out Anakin as a character. Like you're wondering,
Not the movie, but the animated show.
the animated show.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
You
was
go
gonna
back
say,
and you
Right.
me?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
there's some problems with those movies. But I still like episode 2 and 3. 1, whoo,
What was
I
tough, bro?
like episode 3.
I love
too
episode 3.
much CGI, but a good movie.
But if you go back and you see Anakin, you can see his conflicting personality dealing with authoritarianism.
Yeah, a lot of people need therapy in this movie.
And so when he wakes up and realizes he's the bad guy, how do you deal with that? And I think he just resigned himself to this, like, I've made this decision. We've all done this. We know we made a decision. We know it's probably the wrong decision, but you can stick it out because you don't want to hear somebody say, I told you so. And that's kind of how I feel Vader is. Whereas Palpatine is like, I got you. And I think we should have seen a little bit more of that to give more of these characters backstory, because one of the best scenes for me outside of any of the actual Star Wars movies is Rogue One, where you see Vader is that dude. Like you realize why he is feared. You may not know anything about the Jedi, you may not know anything about the Sith, but you know who Darth Vader is, and when he shows up, you're like me and Avery were talking about this. Somebody crapped their pants in that hallway when they were like, oh, it's over. Like you know it's coming. And I feel like they should have done a little bit more of that, and the Emperor, and saying, hey, this is a dude through literally 40 years or 60, however long, he's been planning this stuff. So give us a little bit more of that. And I think that's where we failed in these Star Wars movies. And that's my biggest nitpick.
How did you all feel about the relationship between Palpatine and Rey? Because that reveal of, oh, this is your grandfather. This is your granddaddy. Anyway, because I thought that she was figuring it out as she was going without knowing what she was not understanding what it was. Because at that moment when she was using the Force to bring the plane down or the ship down, and electricity came out, and she was like, "Yo, what?" And then you see Palpatine with his. They might have electric genes, or whatever. They have the same kind of.
I mean, dark side electricity is usually.
But
dark side.
that's what I'm saying. That's my problem. What you and him are saying kind of the same thing. Give us more of that, because we didn't even register the fact that he basically killed his kids.
He did.
His son and his daughter-in-law to get Rey. And there was none of this like...
But what was he going to do when he got her as a child? Like train her? Or was he going to consume her?
Yeah, that was his
Didn't
apprentice.
he say at one point that's why he went to Darth? I missed that.
But then you want her dead now? So I was
But the thing
confused
is,
why he wanted her dead.
He didn't want her dead.
He wanted her dead. He told Kylo Ren to kill her.
He said if she wouldn't be turned. Remember? And then remember he said...
He kind of waffled back and forth on what he was doing.
That's
what he does.
What you want to do?
He got plan A and plan B and
But you
plan
remember
C.
he was like, I created Snoke. And that's why I said it kind of fills in a little bit of these stories.
Well, you knew the Snoke thing they were going to have to come
Yeah,
back to.
and I appreciated that.
Okay.
Okay, you created Snoke. Cool, I'm good with that. But do that a little bit more in the movie, because the whole parents thing. Because my thing is, when did you have a wife or a kid? And
back when he was a senator, he had somebody on the side.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, did he have somebody on the side, or was he really married?
I think he had somebody on the side.
Because this is my thing.
He had someone on the Sith planet.
This is my question.
Lightning hand.
Was that the first planet they were on? Was that the Sith planet?
Which planet?
The original Sith planet. Not Dathomir, because that was where Vader was. There's a Korriban. Was that Korriban?
No, I thought that was like Exegol or something.
No, that Exegol was the planet that Kylo Ren went to after he found the Sith.
When he was fighting people. That's what you're asking.
Red planet. Remember the red planet?
I don't know.
Was that Korriban?
That was a cool scene, though.
Because
that was dope.
Because basically, if you play the
Is that what's even in the forest?
Yeah.
Okay.
so
laying people out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you go back and play the old Knights of Republic, there's a planet. It's called Korriban, and there's like these. You can go back and watch the Star Wars vignettes where they're basically thousands of years before the Republic, whatever, and they're like the Sith have returned. It's I think his name is Darth Bane, or is it Darth Retha? I can't remember which one, but basically there's like these.
I am Gotham's reckoning.
And he's sitting there, and he's like, "Yo," and they're like over, and they're like, because this guy stole these artifacts from Korriban, because Korriban is like this banned planet, and then all of a sudden these huge Sith ships show up, and they wipe everybody out, and then one of the guys is like, "Finally, the Sith have returned. We have Korriban," and then the guy kills his master, and you're like, "There's a whole race of you," and that's why I was like, "Give us that a little bit. Give us a little bit more."
Y'all didn't want no Dark Side movie.
Well,
Y'all really didn't.
I was just like, where did the opera come from?
Yeah.
They did Duel of the Fates, those singing people in the crowd, so, like the beginning of it, and I was like, we're going to get rejuvenated Palpatine and Rey having some crazy lightsaber battle with the singing Sith. Didn't happen.
So you call them orchestra, I call them like Death Eaters, because to me it was just like...
It did feel like the Death Eaters
Death
too.
Eaters waiting for Voldemort to come back.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's okay. I feel like I was watching a Harry Potter movie a little bit. When you think about like coming from nothing, you have something in you that could be dark, could be light. That force, that fighting, back and forth. I mean, I don't know if it's just like the same storyline.
It's a universal story.
It's a universal storyline.
Yeah, story beats.
But I was like, I'm feeling really Harry Potter-ish right now.
I will say Harry Potter, and if you look at it like that, go back and look at the original trilogy, and go back and look at the prequels. It's the same story.
Yeah.
That
Y'all
Vader,
can come up with a
because
new
remember
story.
they realized.
Well, they tried that Nate and people didn't like it.
Yeah.
So JJ Abrams said, "Oh, y'all want the same stuff? Don't worry.
And
I got you."
You know what this movie was? You know how like your mom will cook something and try something new, and you're like, "Ooh, I don't like this," and she's like, "I'm bringing back the hits, macaroni and cheese."
This was the hits.
I mean, it was, because we got a Death Star in there.
Yeah.
We got a planet-destroying weapon.
Yeah.
We got Palpatine / Vader.
Yep.
We got, I have a bad feeling about this.
Yep.
We got Billy D. Williams.
Yep.
We got Chewbacca. Princess Leia.
They had to break out Chewie, just like in episode 4.
What they didn't have
we got-
is the line when the planet exploded.
Get out.
We
Get
got,
out.
we got
Lauren-
the dramatic
Lauren is on this.
lightsaber force fight thing.
Yeah.
I will say this, and I know it seems like I'm really like coming for. Last Jedi had one of the best lightsaber battles of all. Like
That in the throne room
That
or
throne
whatever.
room. Now
Yeah.
this lightsaber battle wasn't on par.
Also, I am here for red stormtroopers.
Why were there not more? Like I could like.
I was waiting
They
on
should've
because I
showed-
thought that they had those in
Nope, they showed up. This is the only movie they've been in, and I was here.
There was a captain
guards
that was-
were the red thing.
Yeah.
So those are the Imperial
The Red
Guards.
Prelatoriator.
Yeah,
whatever.
So I guess
Praetorian.
Captain Phasma really is dead. We just
Yeah.
totally
That's
wasted
good.
that.
Yeah, that was fine.
She was
Like the Knights of Ren, they were garbage.
Poor Gwendolyn.
And I needed them to be more. I'm like,
They
bro,
should've
y'all
been.
look so cool. Why are y'all not more
That's-
than this?
That's
See,
what I was upset with, because
this-
the Praetorian Guards to me were better guards, and I'm like, how does Snoke have better guards? Like,
Yeah.
weren't the Knights of Ren the people you trained?
See, my issue with the Knights of Ren is going back to 8. I wish we lived in a universe where Abrams was able to do 7, 8, and 9.
That's my biggest
Because I do like 8, but I wish it was some type of spin-off thing. We got another 8 where JJ Abrams had 2 stories to tell, because there's so much done in this story. You needed more time to get it like through an 8 and a 9.
And
you see what I'm saying?
this is where Harry Potter did a better job, and as a trilogy, and Marvel has kind of done a better job lately. You have the story. You can get different directors to tell the story, but you need to have the story already mapped out. Harry Potter did an awesome job where you had people like is it Alfonso Cuarón?
Yeah, I think he did a lot of them.
Christopher Columbus, who's done some of the family movies like Serendipity, Home Alone, Home
Found
Alone 2.
America.
Yeah, so like those guys were really retelling the story that you already had.
Yeah.
Rian Johnson told his own story, which was great if you had given him his own trilogy to do it with. Swing for the Fences in another trilogy.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like he took some liberties that I didn't like. He did some things I really did like. Like some of the visuals in that movie still have not been duplicated. When Laura Dern hit the hyperdrive,
That was a cool scene.
like holy,
That sequence of the throne room fight and then her doing that are like the best
like
5 minutes in any of the new
when
trilogy.
and the thing is, when you realize what she's doing, you're realizing it as the Empire's realizing it, and they're freaking out. That's the one thing I think this movie missed. The space battle was good, but it was nowhere as close to Star Wars, the New Hope, or Return of the Jedi. It did not match those. It was serviceable. It was okay. I really didn't get that everything is going to be over, because we saw that clip in the trailer of Lando showing up with the Millennium Falcon with all these ships in tow.
Yeah, they gave away some things in the trailers that I think
They could have held
held
I
back.
don't know why they leaked the Palpatine stuff so early.
That was really
Yeah.
early.
Well, I wonder if it's because they wanted you
Fans?
to... Well, no, they wanted you to go ahead and get on board because...
That's what I'm saying, like fans.
Like the whole movie starts with Palpatine. Either...
Yeah.
And Tony said this earlier. You guys don't know Tony, but he works with us. He said this earlier. Either you're on board from the beginning with Palpatine or you're not. And that kind of sets your tone for the entire movie. Because if you're not on board, well, the movie ain't gonna do nothing.
This
but
is
do
what I
that.
will say about this movie. And again, I like it. I really did. I own every Star Wars movie. I'm talking prequels. I own every Star Wars movie. I don't watch them as much as some. My favorite Star Wars movie outside of the trilogies is Rogue One. Hands down, Rogue One. But what I will say in this movie is, it felt like they were trying to convince fans we got it right. And that's when it goes back to you. Why did they release the Palpatine stuff? Because there was such a divisive schism in fandom of people hating The Last Jedi. And it was so toxic that and I say that we did it, but we bullied Rose Tycho off of Twitter, of Instagram, Twitter. Yeah. Fandom
Kelly Marie Trans.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We bullied Christopher Hayden's. Is it Hayden or Haydenson?
Oh, we don't know where that man is.
Anderson.
That poor man.
He
was good in Jumper.
Christian Haydenson.
No, he wasn't. You
That
like
movie-
Jumper?
I like Jumper.
I like Takers. Takers was good.
Takers was good. He was good at Takers.
We
Yeah, he
Takers.
was. He was in
Staying
Takers.
focused.
He was.
Woo! That was a good movie right there.
But this is the thing. I think they leaked it because they needed to bring the fandom back together to say, look, we're bringing... It's almost like when the Rolling Stones come to town. We're playing the hits.
Yeah.
We're not playing the new stuff. And that's the problem that I feel like a fandom has. Like, you guys were talking about this a little bit earlier, which I don't think people understand. Everybody has a jumping point into this fandom. We're there's a generation for those of us who are old as hell. I was born the year Star Wars came out. So
A New Hope.
1977.
I was not.
Some people.
I also was not.
You guys, the prequels. That's your introduction. Some people it's the Clone Wars. Some people it's Rebels. Some people it's the new trilogy. Just because it's not for you, don't crap on it for those who it is for.
I'm trying to think of when I saw A New Hope. I think it was after Phantom Menace came out, and my dad was like, "Let's go ahead and get this education."
You need to see the real stuff.
And my mom and dad were like, "Let's figure out how we can get the VHS of this."
Let's sit down.
Blockbuster.
Dear, there's this thing I've been trying to tell you about. This family legacy.
But like I don't know, and that's kind of where some of my movie love began, is from Star Wars. So I don't know. It feels like it's coming to a close, but I know there's so much more that's gonna happen, with this property. But
I will say I hope they don't touch it for a while.
yeah.
I mean, we got at least,
Not
I think,
touch
3
any
years,
of it.
right?
At least.
I think they said 2020 is the next date for the...
Yeah, and to me, honestly,
Whatever the new Star Wars movie
I don't know where they go with this.
So, 2022, sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm like,
not 2020.
I don't
sorry.
know.
A week.
All right.
Yeah, 2022, sorry.
I don't know where they go with this, but I'm with you guys. Leave it alone. Go to in a wholly another direction. Let the Skywalker saga end, which was, honestly, it's an awesome franchise. It's an awesome piece of filmmaking when you think about it, that doesn't matter who you are, how old you are. There are people, I still remember the video of the little girl or the young lady watching Rogue One crying when Vader showed up because she had not seen A New Hope. She had not seen any of that stuff. And her dad is just like giggling in the background like an evil gremlin because he knew. But when she sees Leia and she's like, and the realization that, oh, the story keeps going. That's amazing.
And I think that's the really good thing, to your point about Last Jedi, like Rogue One was a really individual story done well, but it fit into what they had
Star Wars
planned
was, yeah.
out. And I think Last Jedi, like it's clear these two were by Abrams, and then that middle one is just kind of out there. And they did so much stuff to like backtrack that I think, to your point, Rogue One did what you're talking about, which is, yes, here's a new look on it, but we know what we were trying to do.
And another thing too is Rian Johnson is an awesome filmmaker. Go watch Knives Out.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh my, go watch Knives Out. Go watch Looper. Go watch Brick. He is an amazing filmmaker.
Yeah.
He just did something. And I know Star Wars has to change and grow as we get older. You don't think the same way at 40 as you did at 30, 20, or 10. But that means Star Wars has to grow. And that means let it grow. But I will say this. Go ahead. Couldn't help yourself.
Nope.
That's on you.
It's a setup.
By speaking,
I said let it grow. I didn't say go, but I forgot who I was with.
Yeah.
Give him his own trilogy. I honestly, I would love to see Rian Johnson's trilogy.
I would watch a trilogy of that boy with that broom who is maybe force sensitive right now.
I would.
But also don't touch it for a long time. Like, we're fine.
Yeah, so I'm really...
Count your money elsewhere. You got us. We're fine.
I'm for it. Like I said, I had my beefs. I want to see more Sith Troopers.
Because that's lit. I might have to go out and buy that too.
I was all
Amazon.
for... I was all for the red welded helmet, these red stormtroopers, and just like everybody popping out of like Lightning Land.
I got so excited when those Star Destroyers came out of the ice.
Was it ice water? I didn't know what it was.
I was like, yo. I was on board with that first 10 minutes. In that first 10 minutes, what got me, I was like, that's amazing.
So in 40 years, we've never seen hyperspace skipping, and that's all I want to see now.
Yeah.
That was cool. I was like,
and that's
this is like a video game. I'm like, yep, keep going, next planet, next planet,
But the thing is, like, how did they know where he was going next?
Because they had done tracking.
They were
Last
Jedi.
They established that they can track people through hyperspace now.
And remember that was Last Jedi.
Excuse me, y'all.
But that goes back to that
Read a
whole.
book.
But that goes back to that whole idea of what you guys were saying. If you weren't on board in the beginning of this movie.
No.
Oh yeah, it's not going to win you back over.
And
The beginning of the movie, I was like, come on with it. Let's go.
But yeah.
She could have turned. She could have went to the dark side. I would have walked out there proud.
And I thought she was going to have that Darth Maul lightsaber, and even I was
Oh my gosh, that was so...
The only part that got me visually, where is Disney with their de-aging technology? Because Leia and Luke de-aged.
We were talking about
did
that.
not
Luke
Luke
looked like okay.
Yeah.
Leia,
it looked like instead of de-aging, and I read this somewhere, I think it might have been a Polygon, they think that maybe they got her daughter, Billy Lord, and put her in and then kind of morphed her face with Leia's.
See, you shouldn't have done it. You know what you should have got? You should have got Millie Bobby Brown, put her in one of them suits, and let her fight whoever.
The thing is, you didn't even need to show us the face because we already knew who the two people were.
That's what I'm saying.
So don't even show us the face.
Honestly, you could have done what you did with Carrie Russell?
Carrie Russell?
Just do the eyes.
Well, I told her, I was like, it's a multi-billion-dollar company. Copy and paste from Rogue One and be done with it. Just clip art a helmet.
We still
over
had
it.
the file.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you could just
slide it over.
Put it in a Dropbox.
We edit. We know. I mean, I don't edit well, but I know.
I'm sure it's exactly the same as what we do. Yep.
It's exactly the same.
It's really, control.
Yeah.
Control
Make sure
V.
those edit points are the same.
Yep.
It might be a whole bunch of them, but
It's the same.
look.
Control Z.
All them keyframes.
Yeah,
The
keyframe.
timeline. Ooh, can you imagine when you edit that movie?
Woo,
like,
that timeline gotta be lit, though.
Yeah, I couldn't even.
Can you imagine how long that takes to render?
Yeah.
And then if it's Eddie's, it just crashes on you unexpectedly.
I don't think Disney has Eddies.
And there you go.
No.
We shouldn't have Eddie's.
Yeah.
Just saying.
All right.
We do. Eddie's is great. Eddie's is it gets the job done.
I think this is that moment where we say we did not
I
endorse
needed
all
that.
the opinions of this conversation.
Thank you, Lauren. I needed that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how many times a day
You just hear people in the newsroom like, God, what's wrong?
Anyway.
Eddie is just crashed.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is my question to you guys. Is this a fitting end to this story?
Absolutely.
I'm thinking.
I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what else I would have. I mean, I know what I would have wanted, but based on what happened, based on what episode 8 was, he did the best he could. I think.
I think.
I personally would have liked it if they'd taken more chances, but I realized that's not what people wanted. So you got to course
Because
correct.
if they would have taken some chances, they would have to come back and course correct.
Oh no,
Again.
you couldn't. You ain't getting to episode 10.
I'm just saying, like they couldn't have left it. Dark Side wins.
And I
Honest-
know,
Oh no, not for Disney.
Because that's what I honestly wanted. That and I'm like, am I wrong? And who am I?
I will
And
say
I'm-
this: they took a lot of the themes from Last Jedi, and to me, did it a little better because there was that moment where the guy was talking to General Pride or whoever his name was, a very very good actor. I cannot remember his name.
Richard E. Grant.
Yes, thank
Yep.
you. Where
Since we got it up.
the brothers, Grant is like, yo, where are these people? Who, what? They didn't have a fleet. And the black dude is like,
It's
it's
just
just people. It wasn't like in your face like Last Jedi. Like Rose was like, you don't defeat the things by hating. It was a lot of those themes.
Right.
It was a little more nuanced because you got those things with the whole, I'm looking at my friends.
right.
And again, I'm not trying to bash Last Jedi, but you did get a sense of, in this movie, they understood themes and they did a better job of not just beating you over the head with it. And I liked it. I really did. It really was, especially in this time that we live in right now of this divisiveness. It really was just a feel like
All worlds coming together.
We needed a feel-good movie, and that's what it did.
Speaking of nuance, y'all see what they did with that general's name?
What?
General Pride.
Oh, General
They
Pride.
got
PRYD.
I see you, Disney.
Okay, Disney.
Baby steps, Disney.
Well, they kind of had the rainbow situation at that little festival they were.
We're talking real baby steps.
Yo,
Fine.
that
It's
festival
fine.
reminded me of the Matrix scene
No,
when they
it
were all
was-
dancing and
it
raving.
was
Like,
like-
it was getting
It was
down.
Star Wars Burning Man.
Yeah, it was.
I was like, is that Coachella?
You did say Coachella.
It was almost as bad as the casino scene of last year. I was like, let's stop doing this.
But they got to bring in the kids with
No,
the lights and the
it's-
colors and stuff.
She's
over
like,
it.
oh, these little whatever they are, they have fun
Elephant
too.
kids.
What y'all think of the expansion of force powers in this?
I don't
Because
mind
they did some wild stuff.
I thought it was cool.
I don't. That's.
But I was
again,
just like, wait, how do you start sucking souls out of life like Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat? What's going on? People sucking
I
souls
don't
out.
mind it. The problem that I have again is
Say it.
it goes back to Jacob's point. Give us a little bit more that backstory to show us. Oh, I've been doing this for years. Like I've been.
Well, Ray's been training
Yeah, but
because she showed
But
up
she
looking
had
like
those-
Avatar.
But I think they tried to do that with some of those old books, being like
She
he
did.
was
But
learning
she was
some
the
stuff.
Avatar.
She did. As soon as she popped up, I was like,
I was like,
what is
is
she,
that
Avatar?
like I said,
Lord.
I liked. I honestly, I hope this is the end of this saga. Good, put a bow on it. Now let's go. To me, what I really want is go 1,000 years in the past, do Knights of the Old Republic, and show us these. Because if you go and read some of the books, or you play some of these video
You better
games,
play that video game and call it a day.
son, those force powers, they were able to move. They were able to drop mountains on people.
Oh.
Give us some of that, like you like.
The more you
The,
know.
whatever his name is,
Like the
Palpatine.
from Game of
Those Force lightning powers.
Yes, same one.
If you realize like what he was doing, he was helping his people out by, and he kind of was doing that. If you realize, not Last Jedi, the Return of the Jedi, he was kind of doing the same thing where he was like, I'm gonna sit here, because he could have done it then. He probably could have done it then.
Well, I mean, it's all set up the same way
Yeah.
in terms of like the Emperor is with whoever the good person is. One time it was Luke, this time it was Rey, and they're watching the battle unfold. So it's all set up
And
with
that's-
similar beats. Yeah.
And so that's why I was like, give us a little bit more of that. But I'm cool with this. Finish this saga. Go 1,000 years in the past. No connection to these people, and give me the backstory of how, or give me a story of just people of the space wizards with the laser swords going against another group who's got laser swords and they're red, and then you got another faction who have yellow swords. Like, don't just do good and evil. Give me some of those people in the middle, because that's what, to me, at the end, when she had the yellow lightsaber, where you were like, are you a gray Jedi? because that's that whole, I have both of these in me, and that to me that's what people are.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
See, I was going to ask
yellow.
because,
Yeah.
they didn't do a good job of, because there are so many different kyber crystals and lightsaber colors that.
Kyber crystals, Rogue One. That's what they were mining for. I remember some of it.
Yeah, but if you don't read everything, and why would you? You wouldn't know what green or blue or red
Yeah,
or
what is
purple.
the green? What is the green lightsaber?
I assumed green and blue.
So you have like a
was good
Jedi
guys.
Sentinel, a Jedi Guardian, and a Jedi.
Cause who had green? That was
That's Yoda.
okay.
Qui-Gon.
Yoda.
Oh.
Yoda and Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
Those guys were like the more spiritualist
And
Jedi.
purple was Samuel L. Jackson because he wanted purple, and then they had to go back and explain that color.
Yeah, and they said it's a combination of you kind of dance on the fringes of the light and the dark side. with
And
the purple.
so
That sounds like Samuel.
yeah.
I mean, he said that. He was like, I want a purple lightsaber. He was like, George Lucas, I want a purple one. And George's like, all right, cool. He's like, you got to do the space tariff stuff, though. But
Yeah.
but I mean,
Mace Windu, shout out.
that's why I was like, when I saw the yellow, I was like, is she a gray Jedi? And I was like, I don't know. But I was like, that's what the swing for the fences kind of thing I wish we could have had more of. And now, we can't have it right now. Take your time, figure it out.
I think he has to be though for this whole
That-
balance of the Force thing to
I,
work.
but the thing is, they've already said Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Oscar Isaac. I don't remember if he said it or not, but I'm quite sure he will. They were like, we're not coming back. We're done.
Yeah.
We're good. This is great.
I'm tired.
I mean, because if you think about it, it is a lot to do.
Yeah.
It's like being in a Marvel movie where you can't do other projects, you can't
No.
do other things. You're locked into these press things, and so your time is taken up of just and remember, John Boyega lost the script. Imagine if that had gotten out on the internet before. I mean, you can lose a Knives Out script and ain't nobody care. Lose
The
a Star
Star
Wars.
Wars.
Lose a Star Wars script, see what happens.
All right, we've been doing this for an hour. We got to wrap
It's
up.
been an hour?
Probably.
Got
Yeah.
work to do.
Lord.
Yeah,
Yes,
y'all,
4
he had a
o'clock.
good. Yeah, we stole you long enough.
Oh yeah. Woo.
I'm sure you
Look.
got. Do you have something to do in the 5?
Yep. Also, by the way, big spoiler: Kylo Ren dies.
Woo! And disappears.
You're welcome.
Suck the life. I'll give you life, but you suck my life away.
You guys can like, comment, subscribe here. Find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram,
That robe
Facebook,
thing dissipates.
WLTX.com. Because we have to cut this short, if you guys want us to do another video even
Force
longer,
Ghosts are back.
we can do that. Thank you, Jacob, for being here.
No problem.
We out.